everybody. This is Vivian from Xavier University, Bhubaneswar, doing my master's in mass communication.
Hello, I'm Riya and I'm doing my master's in mass communication from the School of Communication, Xavier University, Bhubaneswar.
It's a nice opportunity for us to share our knowledge on a topic which is very dear to us, that is on the virtue of being justful or the virtue of justice for this platform on virtues in movement. To begin with our own understanding of what justice is, I think, I would ask Ria to share her experience on what really justice is or how she has experienced justice in her life with a small anecdote or with a small incident that has happened in her life.
Yeah, so I remember when I was small. Uh, there's this one incident that comes to my mind. Okay, when I was small, I was very small, and my brother was given an extra leg piece of chicken. And when I got to know that my brother got an extra piece, I created a hell lot of uh, issue in the whole house. And I was like, no, this is not fair. How is he getting an extra leg piece when I get one less? All those, fights and, everything that happened. So this is, the first story that came to my mind when we hear the word justice, right? When it was not fair to get, even though there have been a lot of times also when I was favored over my brother. I was the younger one, so I'll be the one who's be favored most than my brother. But but and that at that point when I got to know that it's my brother who got favored, the first thing it came to my mind was it's not fair. It's absolutely not fair. We're the same, so why is he getting a better treatment, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure even you have a lot of stories in your life. Why don't you share some?
Yes, yes, thanks, Ria. That's a nice experience to share on what justice is in your life, and I would like to share something that has happened pretty much similar in my life. Is me also being the youngest in the family. I was my mom's pet. I mean, the mom's child, always like the Benjamin of the family. And the thing is, both my brothers, like I have two elder brothers, so both my brothers, they were kind of taken into task for whatever mistakes that I did. So I was not punished. I was not, pointed out for the mistakes that I did, but it was always my brothers. So in a way, justice was not served here, but me being almost petted every time, I felt very, comfortable being in this environment of being favored and always my mother being very supportive and my dad also being very supportive. I felt very much favored. Of course, this is a very false notion of being favored or having that being a favorite of somebody, which is not really justful. At that particular point of time, it felt good, but later on, when you realize, when you grow up, and when you see that how injustice is served in one's family, you really feel the prick of it. So yeah, this is something that has happened to me in my life, and while we reflect on what justice is, I think we can also see we can also try and define what justice is, in our own terms, perhaps. So what do you feel, Ria, like what justice is?
Um, See, justice, according to me, is being fair. And how do you be fair? I mean, it's a situation where you give the priority to the truth. Okay, where prevails in any kind of situation. That's what justice is to me. What do you think? What about you?
It's pretty much similar over here. When we talk about justice, it's about giving equal treatment immaterial of who they are, being it a poor or being the person very rich or being the person, very elite or no one in the society, giving the person according to their needs and at the same time respecting their dignity of they being a human person. So it's immaterial of what they are, but it's the very fact of respecting their humanity and having a fair judgment according to the truth that prevails. I think that is a pretty much a detailed understanding or maybe perhaps a definition of what justice is.
Yeah, nice. But let me ask you a question. We see so many situations, where people don't stand for the truth or don't stand for justice, don't be just. Even if you look back, even there are times when we have failed to stand for the truth. So what do you think stops us from standing for the truth, or stops us from being just in a situation, or in any situation for that matter?
Yeah, that's a pretty good question when you ask like what stops us from, fighting for this cause, or, what stops us from, standing away or just being as a spectator when injustice is happening right in front of us. I think one of the main things that, I would see here is the fear of losing my own image. Say, many people who would want to stand for justice, who would want to fight against injustice, they always have a fear aspect in them. What would happen to my own security? What will happen to me if I stand for for those people? If I stand for those people who are neglected of their justice, or if they're neglected of their rights, will my security be at stake? Will my reputation be at stake? And again, I would also say that it's not my business anymore. The idea of it's not my business, the other person is no one to me. When I don't consider the other person as no one, it's of course not my business. So when we otherize others, like when we disown them, when we disown the humanity, I think the intensity of justice is ever increasing. So, Ria, we talked about what justice is, and how justice is felt in the day-to-day lives. Having said these, how do you see the characteristics of justice, or say, for example, what are the nuances of a justful person? So, what do you think are the characteristics of justice, the virtue of justice?
Yeah, yeah. So when you talked about otherizing the other person, a person who is justful will not otherize the other person, right? When you see the other person as not the other person, but a person of your own, he's your own, right? When you look at the other person like he's your own brother or your own sister, you end up, you have a moral obligation to fight against what is wrong, to fight for your sister or your brother. Okay, right. So I think when you think of this person as not another person, but just a very simple way is to keep yourself in the place of that other person. Would you do the same? Like, would you not fight for your own, right? Would you not fight for yourself for that matter? So I think what is important is when you're able to be just more when you're able to see the other person as your own and not other, right? When you don't otherize it. Also, I would like to there is this thing called thinking of doing something and not doing, right? Just because you're thinking of doing something good doesn't make you a good person. It's just that you're thinking of doing something, right? Similarly, you're thinking, you have to act. I feel that there is this part of there's this situation that where you need to act. You don't omit your duties. You don't run away from your duties. You don't run away from fighting for the other person. You don't run away from being just yourself in your own life, in your own personal level, right? The area where we get confused is, where do we draw the line? I mean, what is the line of justice for us? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you beautifully explained, the nuances or the characteristics of being justful, which is beautiful, in fact. And where do we draw a line? That's very important, when we see the other person as my own, and from here, taking a little forward, I think if at all we cut across this line at the humanity level, seeing the other person as a mere human, giving giving his or her dignity, and with all freedom, due respect. I think that is where we can cut it across and say, like, yes, the other person needs to be treated justly, whatsoever it is, immaterial of the race, the gender, the nationality, or Whatever characteristics defines a person, look at the person from a humanity point of view. I think that'll create a lot of feeling of justice in the society and elsewhere, be it whoever I am, if I'm a doctor or if I'm a student or if I'm a teacher or an engineer or person working outside or immaterial of my profession. I think justice should be seen in such a way that I treat the other person with due respect and with due humanity. So that is something that we need to learn, and perhaps how do we put it across in our own day-to-day lives? That is something that we can take it forward. Putting justice into practice is, if I'm going to work or if I'm going outside in the street, and if I see a unjustful act happening, and I think I need to stand for that person who's being treated unjustly or kind of harassed. That is where this humanity lies. And if I just shy away, and if I just walk on the other side without even caring for the other person, then I'm as good as harassing the other person. So in that way, I think we need to stand up and stand for those people who don't have rights, who don't have those privileges that many of us do in the society. So I think that is one of the simplest practices that one can do in our own way possible, be it as a student, be it as teacher, or be it anyone, whoever it is in material of my profession and career. Keeping humanity as the line of evaluation, I think that is something that we all need to practice. And it doesn't come all of a sudden. It doesn't come just like that. It should come from within. It's a habit, and slowly a choice many times made becomes a habit. So in that way, I feel
Absolutely.
virtue of justice is a process which should happen day by day and minute by minute.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't have to do big things, right? When you think of justice, as I said, it's not a complex term. You just start applying it at your own personal level in your own little ways. You'll understand what exactly is justice. You'll understand what exactly is standing for the truth.
So happy life into this world of justice, and give your best towards a justful cause. Thank you.
Thank you.